text, okay? It shows
No,
that
explain it in the Bible. In the Bible.
I'm saying,
tell me in the Bible.
Listen, sir, I've never said once that I can show you within the Bible, where this happened, where they went on the other side of the flood. I made that clear because it's not in the Bible.
It is in the Bible.
And see, let me make a statement, though. But the point, I'm not going to create something through philosophy because it's not in the Bible. That's the point.
But the point is,
now,
it is in the Bible,
correct.
sir.
It did happen
It
after
is in
the
the
flood.
Bible.
It's evident it happened after the flood, or there's evidence that the giants lived on the other side of the flood. But we cannot philosophize and claim that Ham's wife was of Nephilim.
Then how did the Canaan, who is the father of all the giants that the Israelites had to utterly destroy, Canaan is the first offspring off the flood. As soon as they got off the ark, Canaan's there. Because Ham did whatever he did in the tent with his father, and his father cursed Canaan, which implies Canaan was either born on the ark or very shortly afterwards, because he was there to be cursed. Why is it that all of his offspring had to be utterly destroyed and they were giants? Please explain that if it's not the wife of Ham's.
Well, I can explain it. The curse went from, I can explain it. The curse went from Canaan's children, linking with the children of Nephilim.
Where did the children of Nephilim come from?
Listen, you asked me a question, I said I'm going to answer it. Canaan's children were linked with the children of Nephilim, and they had offspring of Nephilim. That's how that happened. It had nothing
where did the Nephilim come from?
It had nothing. Excuse me, sir. There's no scripture anywhere that says that Ham's wife was of the seed of Nephilim. So
there's no scripture anywhere that says that Nephilim showed up any other way.
All due respect to you, this is almost a waste of time of speaking of something that can't be proven.
It is proven.
Let's get on to something else now, because we are talking about things that we fall down a slippery slope claiming something that's not in the Bible. So
it is in the Bible, sir. I just told you that every single giant in the Bible traces back to the people in Genesis chapter 10, verses 6 through 20, without exception. There's no mention of any other way that could possibly be. None.
Sir,
it tells you that so-and-so begat so-and-so begat so-and-so begat so-and-so. Who did they beget with?
How do you quantify that by saying that that's Ham's wife and there's nowhere in Scripture that says that?
Let's go to Genesis chapter 10, shall we?
I'm there. I'm in Genesis 10 now.
All right, start with verse 6.
Okay. And the sons of Ham, Cush, Mizraim, Put, and Canaan.
How does Ham have children?
He had children with his wife.
Okay, good, very good. So Ham had children with his wife, and then from this point on, all the way down to verse 20, these are all the giants that the Israelites were told to utterly destroy. How can you see anything? How can you come to any other conclusion that all of these offspring came from one woman?
I just mentioned it to you, sir. That
with
Canaan linked with, sir, I explained it to you earlier. It had nothing to do with Ham's wife. This
you said Canaan linked with Nephilim.
Sir,
you said Canaan linked with Nephilim.
If you're going to interrupt me when I answer the question, sir, please don't ask me the question. I won't answer the question if you don't want me to answer it.
Fair enough.
Okay, I'll tell you what. Let's just leave it where it's at on that. All right. You said it's his wife. There's no place in Scripture that says that. There's nothing that I can discuss concerning that.
No, there is. Link up with Nephilim. To link up with.
Sir.
He is a Nephilim.
You're asking me to get into a philosophical debate when there's no basis. It's a waste of time.
It's a waste of time with somebody who can't answer the question honestly. Well, you said that Canaan
when I
mated with
to
a
answer
Nephilim.
The question, you come in and answer it for me. So what good is it? Let's not get on the wrong side of each other here. Let's leave it alone. If I can't answer a question without being disturbed, then I'll just let it be. I'll just let you put it out there. That's what you believe, even though there's no scripture that says it. Let's just go into the next thing. I'm okay.
I just told you I would let you speak and I wouldn't interrupt you. I want to know, you said Canaan linked up with other Nephilim. Please tell me where that happened. Give me a scripture. I'd love to hear it.
I said Ham's children, Canaan's children, linked with the seed of Nephilim. That's why it breaks off to those giants afterwards. Okay?
Right.
That's what happened. That's why these other hybrid beings came out of Canaan. It wasn't Canaan himself. It's what happened after the flood.
This is after the flood. So where did Canaan link up with the Nephilim? That's what I'm asking you. Where did Canaan link up with the Nephilim?
It was the wife Canaan took, sir.
Okay, so where did Canaan get his wife? And please provide a scripture for it. I'd love to hear it.
Okay. Like I said before, sir, the information on Og operating on the other side of the flood is not in the 66 books. Okay? So you're not going to see nowhere in Scripture. I made it clear. You're not going to see anywhere in Scripture where the giant children linked with Canaan. That's extra biblical text. It's outside of Scripture. Okay?
I'm familiar with the story. I'm familiar with the story.
To make it clear, it's the children of Og. Og of Bashan was the father of the giants on the other side of the flood.
According to Jewish fable, yes.
Okay.
According to Jewish fable, he was, first of all, the Bible tells you how big Og of Bashan was. He's roughly 15 to 18 feet tall. Jewish fable describes him as way bigger than that and holding on to the ark during the flood, like hanging on to the ark. It's a Jewish fable, man. It's like Jack and the Beanstalk.
Yeah, but this is what it is. Listen clearly. A lot of the information concerning the giants is like Jack and the Beanstalk. As a matter of fact, Jack and the Beanstalk came from the legend of the giants. So let's not even get to a philosophical disagreement. We'll never come on one accord to try to discuss something that's actually not in Scripture. But I can say for a fact, 100%, it wasn't Ham's wife.
But it was a Jewish fable. See, I gave you scripture that showed Ham had 4 children, and all the giants that the Israelites had to wipe out come from these 4 children.
Sir,
actually, 2 of them.
Saying, though, sir, let's stop here on this, because you can't show me in the Bible. I told you that Og's legend concerning how he got to the other side of the flood is not in the Bible. So that's why I made that clear, because it's extra biblical text. When it comes to what you're saying, you're making a statement of a woman that's in the Bible that have nothing to do with what you're saying. So let's just leave it alone, because Ham's wife was not Nephilim. It doesn't say that.
It says she was after verse 12 and falls in the category of all flesh becoming corrupted. And if you want to use extra biblical text, the book of Joshua, which is mentioned in the Bible twice as opposed to the Jewish fables that you subscribe to, says that the 3 wives were not chosen until 7 days before the floodwaters came. 7 days before the floodwaters came, which would even more support the idea that they were corrupt. But we can move on. That's fine.
Yeah, let's move on.
Okay, yeah, I just thought it was an interesting concept. I've never taught it as doctrine, but I just wanted to get, Elder's take on it. But wasn't going to go into the Antichrist thing for all the people.
So we clearly see here that the Elder of GOCC validates and solidifies his fallen angel teaching, or his fallen angel doctrine, not from what can be proven in the scriptures, but actually from extra biblical texts, and at that, Jewish fables. So I would like to get some GOCC members to actually chime in on this and what they think about this, because this doesn't go along according to the doctrine that the apostles left behind. They said that all scripture is profitable for doctrine, not Jewish fables or extra biblical texts of doctrine that cannot be proven. Here we have a man that actually believes in extra biblical texts, and his standpoint is wrong as well. But at the same time, people don't even see how badly Rakal was cut here, where he had no foothold, no standing, no scriptural basis for a primary doctrine that he uses to teach to be able to save all nations and have all nations come into his camp. Because that's what comes from the fallen angel doctrine, is that they use that as a segue into saying that there are people on the planet that aren't human that aren't going to be saved. Okay? As he would say, okay? But if you can't see here that there is no scriptural foundation in this doctrine that he teaches, he's already been shown, and this is way back, this is on their own channel. All right? A Gathering for Christ Church. Right there, that's their channel. 25,000 subscribers, 23,000 views on this video, with only 24 thumbs down. And he's sitting here talking about the Nephilim and can't even substantiate in scripture his doctrine. Yet he goes to a Jewish fable of Og of Bashan hanging onto the side of the ark, something that was displayed in a heathen movie that was depicted of the story of Noah, with Tubal Cain hanging onto the side of the ark and surviving the flood. This guy basically reiterates that and tells outright that he teaches this, but he cannot teach it from the scripture. He must go to the quote-unquote legend of Og of Bashan. All right? So if you can't see this and you still following along with this doctrine that's unprovable, then shame on you. That's it on that. Shalom.